The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the quiet country road. The air was thick with the scent of pine and earth, and the only sound was the gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze. It was the kind of evening that felt timeless, suspended between the fading day and the encroaching night. John Miller gripped the steering wheel of his old sedan, the rhythmic hum of the engine, a comforting backdrop to his thoughts. He had taken this route countless times, the familiar bends and turns etched into his memory like an old friend. But tonight, something felt different. There was a tension in the air, an unspoken promise that something was about to happen. As he rounded a curve, the unexpected happened. A horse, wild and untamed, burst onto the road, its hooves pounding the asphalt like thunder. John's heart leapt into his throat as he slammed on the brakes, the tires screeching in protest. The car shuddered to a halt just inches from the animal, which stood frozen in the headlights, muscles taut and eyes wide with a mix of fear and determination. John's mind raced, trying to make sense of the situation. Why was this horse here, alone and seemingly desperate? Its ears flicked back and forth, nostrils flaring as it snorted heavily. There was an urgency in its stance, a silent plea that tugged at something deep within him. Before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. John sat there, hands gripping the wheel, unsure of what to do. The horse didn't move, didn't flee back into the safety of the trees. Instead, it paced back and forth across the road, its movements sharp and restless, as if trying to communicate something beyond words. John felt a chill run down his spine. This wasn't a random encounter. The horse was trying to show him something, and the realization sent a jolt of adrenaline through his veins. The horse suddenly turned, trotting a few steps toward the side of the road, then stopping to look back at him. It repeated this action, stamping its hooves impatiently, urging him to follow. With a deep breath, John opened the car door and stepped out, his heart pounding in his chest. The horse's deep eyes locked onto his, a silent connection forming between them. Curiosity and a strange sense of duty overcame his hesitation, and he followed the horse as it led him off the road and into the trees. The woods were quiet, the air cool and still. The only sound was the soft crunch of leaves underfoot and the steady beat of the horse's hooves on the dirt path. As they ventured deeper, an unease settled over John, a sense that they were moving towards something significant. The horse stopped suddenly, ears flicking and body tense. John's gaze followed the animals, and he noticed the ground ahead looked disturbed, as if something heavy had fallen there. His pulse quickened as he took a few steps closer, the shadows deepening around him. Then he saw a figure lying among the leaves, partly hidden by branches. His stomach dropped at the sight. An older man lay on the ground, clearly injured. His clothes were dirty, and his leg bent at an unnatural angle. His face was twisted with pain, but his eyes were open, conscious and aware. John's mind raced, piecing together the situation. This must be the horse's owner, the man who had fallen and been unable to get back up or call for help. The realization hit him like a punch to the gut. The horse had come to find him, to lead him here, to save its owner. With shaking hands, John pulled out his phone and dialed for an ambulance, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through his veins. The horse stayed close by, lowering its head toward the man on the ground, offering comfort in its silent, steadfast way. Minutes stretched into eternity as they waited, the woods holding its breath in anticipation. Finally, the distant wail of sirens broke the silence, growing louder until the paramedics arrived, their presence a lifeline in the gathering darkness. They worked quickly, carefully lifting the injured man onto a stretcher. He was alive and would recover, though badly shaken by the accident. The horse watched closely, its tension easing only when it saw its owner being taken to safety. As the ambulance doors closed, the horse stood quietly, breathing heavily but finally at peace. John looked at it with new respect, understanding now the depth of the bond between the animal and its owner. This was not just a lost horse on the road. It had risked everything to get someone's attention and save the man it cared for. The paramedics thanked John for his quick thinking, their gratitude a balm to his frazzled nerves. He nodded, watching as the ambulance pulled away, its lights cutting through the darkness. The horse remained by his side, its presence a steady reassurance. John reached out, running a hand along its neck, feeling the warmth of its skin beneath his fingertips. There was a connection here, a shared understanding that transcended words. As the night settled in, John knew he would never forget this day. The horse had shown him something profound, a reminder of the strength of loyalty and the power of silent communication. It had been the strangest day of his life, but also one of the most meaningful. With a final pat, John turned back to his car, the horse watching him go. He drove away, the road stretching out before him, the events of the evening replaying in his mind. The world felt different now, touched by the quiet heroism of a horse and the bond it shared with its owner. As he drove, the stars began to appear, twinkling in the vast expanse of the sky. John felt a sense of peace settle over him, the knowledge that he had been part of something extraordinary. The horse had led him to a moment of truth, and in doing so had changed his life forever. And so the night unfolded, the road winding on, the promise of a new day waiting just beyond the horizon.